Hey there guys, and welcome back. Welcome back, me too. So we're going to catch up on what has been happening in the past couple of days, what I've been working on, and then get on to building the next version of this table, which will need to be printed by Friday, hopefully. One of these annoying things where I'm looking at the weather, and the weather is supposed to be bad Friday, Saturday, which means that I can't actually take pictures on Friday or Saturday, which would have been preferable. So we're going to see what happens. If it's possible, I might be able to get it done tomorrow, but tomorrow's supposed to be overcast. So, oh, and I should just clarify, take pictures for the project for submitting this and up onto, what do you call it, printables. Real life pictures obviously are much preferred. So anyway, what have I been working on? Aside from the table, I went ahead and modeled up one of these buttons, just because I'm not entirely sure why I didn't model up on stream. That would have been a good experience. So anyway, here's the button, and you may notice that this is not the same kind of mount as we did before. I wanted to see how this one turned out, because one of those things with the other button mount that spans 2 extrusions, that means I actually need 2 extrusions. And that is, you know, it may be possible and it may not be that big of a deal, but it is a limitation. So I went ahead and designed this one, and this mounts on the side, or well, technically speaking, I could have put the T-nuts in the top here. I put them on the side for 2 reasons. One, I figured that gives me a little bit of leverage around the corner here, and 2, that's actually, in theory, more accessible than trying to get underneath this lip with an Allen key and getting them tightened down. So those are 2 reasons. I figured it was worth a shot. And let's switch over to the desktop camera. Here we go. So, whoops, sorry for hitting the mic. This is the first version, and the reason I have 2 versions here is because the first version I did in 3mm walls to see what that was like. It is definitely a lot heavier, and this one, second version, is with 2mm walls. The 2mm wall one of those things I had a question of how much I really needed. Frankly, I might try a 1mm wall thickness one, just because this already feels sturdy enough. So I think that's actually very reasonable to try even thinner than this. I also obviously have the one that we designed on stream right here. You'll see that I went ahead and the circumference down here is a little bit smaller. I was just trying that out. Taking the limit switch out of here, it is technically enough space. It's not nearly as much space as this guy, but it was an experiment to see whether or not I could get away with it, because saving plastic is the whole entire point of this. The point is to save plastic. On that note, this one, you may look at it and say, okay, this only has one side, this has 2, plus this one is larger diameter. So obviously this one must cost more, and this will be more ideal. Not actually the case. This one actually cost 8 cents more because of all this extra plastic in the middle here. This, it's very simple. It's a thin 2mm wall here and a thin 2mm wall here. So all that is, you know, very limited amounts of plastic, even though overall it is much larger. So that's that. Next thing to mention on the topic, back to overhangs. Overhangs are very bad. Alright, pop quiz. Why did this one fail unlike this one? I'll give you half a second. Alright, so there's 3 factors that go into this. One is the circumference of this hole. The circumference of this hole is actually the same on both these, even though they don't look the same because this failed. So that actually did not play a part. This outside circumference, however, did. This wall was further away, which means that you had to bridge further in order to get to the middle. That is one thing that contributed to it. And the third thing that contributed is the wall thickness. So we, you know, again, it's hard, and I'll refer you back to the other video where I took a flashlight rather, and really got in there so that you can see it. Even if we lose a layer or 2 of plastic of this because of bad bridging, this is 3mm all the way through. So we have extra plastic to make up for that. This is 2mm. So we lost, you know, 1-2 layers of plastic, and it made a big difference. So those are the reasons why this failed. Now this guy, obviously, I put him on here because he didn't fail, and this guy didn't fail because I used supports. This is included in the 8 cents that this guy is more expensive. So even though I used extra material to prop up the center here to allow for bridging, even including this is still 8 cents cheaper than this guy right here. And I held up this guy. This guy actually didn't check the price on, but the 2mm wall to 2mm wall is the valid comparison. That being said, the other question is, how much cheaper are these guys compared to this guy? Because again, we are getting away from this idea because every single time we had to add a button, we were printing more stuff, and I was hoping to use the 2020 extrusion to get away from that. So it's a question of how much is the 2020 extrusion costing me, and what are the savings here. And the savings on this guy, from this guy to this guy, is about 10 cents, so about 18 cents compared to this guy per button. So I have 5 buttons right now, probably go up to more buttons, and then every single other thing I put on there, you know, the joysticks, the other different kinds of buttons rather than these big pushy buttons, the actual you know, fight stick buttons, all that stuff is, I think, going to add up to make a difference. I think at the end of the day, with what I spent on the extrusion, which according to the quick math that I did on my phone, I believe is about 17 cents per inch of extrusion, I think this makes up for it. Not 100% sure, but you figure, yeah, I don't know. It really depends how many buttons I make, whether or not we actually made up for it, and how many different styles I end up doing. So, you know, there's a lot of factors going in. I'll admit it's not 100% clear whether or not switching over to extrusion actually saves me money in the long run compared to this. I will say what I haven't factored into this yet is, again, these were going to be connected with more plastic, which would be more money, and with a rigid structure of some sort to connect the individual cones. So all that being said, even though the rigid structure would probably cost less than the extrusion, the extra plastic for connecting between cones to the rigid structure, I don't know. It seems to me like we're still saving money, but I want to keep honest here and, you know, keep everything above board. I do think we're saving money switching over to extrusion like I did, but I don't have the numbers right now to prove that. Beyond that, also saving money. This looks a lot like the corner braces that I had for the extrusion, but it is not. It is 3D printed. So one of these things, the corner braces that I had, let me just grab it really quick. Whoops, sorry. These corner braces are cast. They're super heavy duty. They're structural. I don't need structural. I just need stuff to hold in place. So I'm going to be printing more of these. I just want to wait till I get my hardware in, my T-nuts in. I ordered a pack of T-nuts because I only have just so many of them, you know. I'm going to get the T-nuts in, make sure that this works before I actually print up all these, and then we'll go from there. So that's what's going on with the arcade prototype stick. The only other thing to say is I did cut myself up a bunch more extrusion to go with it, so I have plenty of extrusion now for all the buttons, and that is that project. Now that we're done with that, we can start talking about the table again. So the table, I have all the pieces together for the small table. The only thing I haven't had time to go out and buy deck screws is what I decided on for putting the slats on top of the board. Again, originally the slats I was going to do something with, I was going to 3D print something for, and therefore I didn't have screws for doing that. I, again, have these random wood screws here, but I figured these guys are a bit bulkier than is necessary for the top, for the slats. So that is that. Next thing to mention, aside from I'm waiting, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get out and get the screws for the slats, let's hop over to Fusion. And this piece right here, in case you don't remember it, it used to be 1 inch. I went 1 inch up, 1 inch down. The 1 inch up top is obviously fixed in there, and that's cool. And everything, frankly, is pretty fine. However, you'll notice this is not 1 inch anymore down here, and that's because I was having rocking. It really just wanted to pop out. Obviously, I could put another screw in here, but then you couldn't take this part apart. You couldn't take this T-frame apart, and that's why I didn't. So I changed that this afternoon. I made that modification. I finally got all this stuff together, and therefore was able to test it and found out it needed to be modified, and therefore I changed it this afternoon, and it will be printing tonight. Probably, well, it definitely won't be done before I go to bed, but I'll wake up tomorrow morning, and we'll see where we're at with that, see how much it really rocks from there. And that is everything. Otherwise, I was pretty happy with how everything else was sitting together. The only other thing that I'm going to have to consider changing, or not changing, but supplementing, is back to all these are nominal sizes, and a couple of these boards are actually a little undersized. So, for example, this center piece has a little tiny bit, just, a folded up piece of paper's worth of play. It's one of those things you might notice. Well, you will notice a little bit of rocking on the table. So I'm thinking about printing out shims for it, just to shim it up. But again, it's like a millimeter, if that, half a millimeter. So it's one of these difficult things where half of me wants to just say, heck, stick a paper in it like I was saying. But that seems kind of tacky, so I'll think about printing shims, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to fill that, again, half to 1 millimeter gap. So that catches all us up on projects. So let me just go ahead and close this guy out because we don't need him anymore. And now we are going to make the standing table. And again, the standing table is going to be based on this guy. So I'm just going to hit the drive button. And actually, I'm going to close this out because I forgot to hit the drive with parameters. I kind of wish that was default, but whichever. So drive with parameters. And now I'm going to go ahead and modify all this. So again, for the standing table, what we're going to do is we're going to replace this half-length vertical center beam with 2 full-length center beams. We're going up to 2 pallets. That's the trick here, which gives us this half beam right here. We can use this for something else. I'm not entirely sure what. Actually, I do know what. We'll be putting that up here and rearranging this. At least I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do with it. So I think I'm going to move it up here, and then we're going to have 2 and 2 just to give more stability. Again, it's not really necessary based on what I've done so far with the side table in real life, my testing. Don't really think it's necessary. I was just getting that out of my way since it was still on my desk. Don't know that it's actually necessary to switch from 1 to 2, but it may as well at this point. And the next thing that, once that is moved up here, we'll have the 2 verticals standing up, and then we'll have one more full-length one that we can use. I don't know that we're actually going to do anything with it, though, so that one may just hang out. That one may just be extra, one of those things, pick your 2 straightest ones and then throw the other one out kind of deals. Because I don't really see what we're going to do with it. So I'm going to hop in here. I'm just going to find in. Whoops. Right click. Find in browser. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy. Well, actually, let's. Right. I'm not going to be able to remove this guy, am I? Let us see. I guess I just turn them off for now. The funny thing is that I see joints on here, obviously. I'm just trying to figure out where the joints are because obviously there's no joints right here. Yeah, okay, so there's no joints here. That's a joint. So for some reason only the top has the joints right now. Yeah, okay, so there's the joints for the top. Let us Alright, well, if I'm not going to be able to remove this... Yeah, I can't remove it. I can probably remove the body. Nope, cannot remove the body. Alright, so everything's just going to go invisible then, is what it's looking like. And that's going to include this guy, because we're going to need to change that. So let's change those tabletop things off. So everything's just going to go invisible for this one. I believe if I hit the break link button, where it is, there it is. If I hit break link, I'm pretty sure that it will allow me to remove everything. Unfortunately, I don't want to break the link because the whole entire point of hitting the right button was to get us backwards compatibility. So we're going to avoid doing that. For now, I am going to hop up here to base features. We're going to grab this 1x4 and we're going to go ahead and boundary fill this guy out into a new component. That guy, select new component, and this will be our vertical. I get central verticals is what I'll do, and then inside of here I'm gonna go ahead and boundary fill out the body just into another body. New body. So we got two bodies in here, and I'll go ahead and grab the pine, apply them, and let's see, there's the other one. Try not to, no, okay. Let me do this, turn the base features off, that way I'm not accidentally, there we go, much better. Alright, now for these two guys, I think I'm going to, so we have two options, right? We can either put them in line with the feet or put them perpendicular to the feet. So let's just look at it really quick, just to see. I think I'm going in line. I'm up in the air, actually. I'm up in the air whether or not I want to go in line or... So if we put that there, it's one of those things. We can bridge this with the same kind. Actually, we can... I don't know that it will actually fit. Let's turn it on. Base bracket. Turn that on. Okay, we're not that far off, honestly. So let me just drag this. Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things. Being able to reuse parts, I'm kind of into. So I'm thinking about building around that. So we can build the bracket based around that piece. That way, if you change your mind and you want to switch over, it's not that burdensome. And any bracket we put in here should be able to, or rather shouldn't interfere with this bracket. So that's what I'm thinking. Now the only, well, no, I take it back, because once you get this guy bolted down, yeah, alright, let's go ahead and do this. Let me stop blabbering and let's just get it done. So bodies, actually I want to do bodies instead, because we got this second body in here which is now in line, and that is not useful. So let us turn these off, get that aligned there. Okay, turn this guy back on. Okay, that did not happen the way I expected it to. Let's try that again. Modify, we are on bodies. Turn body 2 off. Turn that on. Okay. Where'd you go? Did you really flip back over here? You did. That's fascinating. I wonder why they're flipping over onto that side. Whoops. Capture, control, escape, control Z. Alright. We are going to try this again, and we're going to just hit the flip button if it does that. So turn that on, and it is on the right side right now. And it flipped over. Fascinating. Okay. I'm going to delete all this, okay? We're going to revert, and we're going to just start over and see what happens. So, align. I'm on bodies. That to center that. I will flip you up. Okay. The other body should still be on the ground. It is. Good. Modify. Align. That guy. Turn it off. That guy. Turn on. Alright. Everybody's seeing this right now, right? Hit OK. And it stayed. Alright, good. Good. It did create 2 align features, though. But I will not cry about it. There's that. There's that. Flip it over. Okay. And this time I will go into there. And yeah, okay. So I believe that's actually because I don't normally align bodies, I normally align components. That may be what's throwing me off here and why I'm getting extra whatchamacallits. Actually, I shouldn't click center there, just to be on the safe side. And then we can hit OK. Alright, cool. So now we can, do we have a construction line for top of board? We do not, no. Okay. Double check over here first. That is bottom of board, so not that one. So I will go ahead and make a top of board construction. And then we can start drawing. Let's turn the top stuff off so that we can actually see what we're doing. And we'll project. Now, one of these things where I normally like mirroring stuff, so that may just be what I do this time. The other question is, how do we want to attach this eventually? I am imagining going over top of this guy. So basically, I'm thinking I'm going to make a... Well, we could do a ramped up box like we did this on the 2 sides. Yeah, let's do that. And then just cut out the center part and then mirror it over. The one thing I was considering, so basically I'll go ahead and throw screw holes on either side, so you can throw sink 2 screws into there. That's the idea. So I'll sink 2 screws into there on pieces that are on the outside here, and then it will just hang out. Then we'll cut out obviously this relief right here, and then it will hang out otherwise. The other thing I was thinking was perhaps bridging over top, or otherwise dropping into here so that it locks into this piece. But I think that's probably overdoing it. So let us go ahead and start with this. Look at, and we can turn everything off for right now. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and draw an outlining box right here. So this, I wonder... Good question. I cannot remember, since it's been a little while. How much did I go here? Okay, I did an inch on each side. Okie dokies. 1 inch. 1 inch. And then this guy, I will just go ahead and have him coplanar, or collinear rather, with that guy. And then we can go collinear with the inside here as well. And again, I'm just going to, yeah, let us finish this sketch. We have a top of, if I recall correctly, top of base, top of slope. Yeah, so we can just match that. So I'm going to go ahead and use that top of slope. And again, the plan here is to marry up to this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, not that one. I don't actually want that. I want the, yeah, I guess I'll just grab that face instead. Let's grab the faces instead. Whoops. Unclick that. Okay. So we've got the faces to work with. Turn those guys off. Let me turn the bodies off so that it makes it a little bit easier. So that and that profile line is off. Am I happy with this? Is a good question. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, let's see what it looks like. So one of those deals, this is going to be a loft up, like I normally do. I will go ahead and throw this collinear through here, that collinear through here, and then we will loft it and see what it looks like. Actually, no, that is not correct. We need to actually loft all the way to around this as well. So let me back up half a second. Yeah, we're going to be flat. I want this to be flat right here. So if I wanted this to be flat right here, actually, this line is still going to be collinear. But I want this to be a box, and I'm just going to turn all this into construction lines. Alright, and let's grab that guy. Okay. And let me see what this is here. So that's 3 millimeters is what I gave myself for the perimeter. So we'll do 3 millimeters around. 3 millimeters. And then this guy back here can just, like I said, be collinear with that. And now let's loft this up and see how it looks. Create. Loft. Actually, that is the other thing I could do. Let me... New body for now. So back to this guy over here. I'm going to turn this guy on. He has a little bit of a straight edge around the perimeter. So he's got, before he actually lofts, he has a little bit of a flat area. I don't know how necessary that is. We could consider adding that to this, but I'm just not sure that it's necessarily worth it. So let us continue with our plan for right now. And I'm going to grab another color plastic. Let's grab purple. We're going to go ahead and just cut out some shapes here. Cut and keep tools. And one of these things where this is... How printable is this? Let's take a quick look. Actually, let me Control Z a little bit here. And when we loft this, we're going to loft this as a new component, because that makes more sense. New component. Okay, just double checking. The funny thing is if I look at this sketch, yeah, all right, whichever. I take it back. I'm not going to worry about it. So we'll hop into this component now. Turn them purple. And then do the same thing we just did. Get caught back up. That guy and that guy. Turn this stuff back off. Whoops, not that guy. That guy. And now let's look at this. Alright, so obviously that is not ideal. And that is due to us using the cut tool. So we can fix that. That's not that big of a deal. Otherwise, we've got this little bit of an issue where since we're right up against the edge here, we got this bridge. And this is a very skinny bridge. Let me turn the board off just so that you can see that better. So you see how that's just a point right there. That's not even square. That's a bit obnoxious. The question is, though, is there anything we can really do about it? Because if we look here, and turn these guys back on, that guy right there. So this is how much we have. Let me just get a number, so I'm not saying this much. So we have about 3/4 of an inch-ish, somewhere in that range. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch, exactly. That's what we have spaced to the edge, so that's not much. So if we did want to build that out, you know what? It's probably worth it. It is probably worth it to build it out. So I'm going to go ahead and go back there just for printability, for no other reason than printability. We're going to hop back here. And because these, again, are not components, I'm going to have to add another one. And we're just going to go 3 millimeters. And that will change everything, in theory. So let's take a quick look. Yeah, so you see now this wall is all the way down to the ground, right? And that makes things a lot better. So let's go ahead and fix this really quick. And one of those things, always 1.5 million ways to skin a cat. I'm just going to, whoops, draw a sketch here. Do this. Turn that into a construction line, and now I can, whoops, literally just extrude that out and cut. Or actually, I take that back. I'm not on the right component. And it also may not actually catch everything, unfortunately. Let's see what happens. No, actually, it does look like it's going to catch everything. Cool. All right. So, again, other ways you could be doing this, fixing this problem. But this is the way I will be doing it because it's easy and fast. Just going to extrude, distance all, cut, and turn the board off. Turn the board off. And double check my objects cut. Just that one. Okay. And there we go. It's flush. Easy peasy. And let's rename this to base bracket. And it's funny because it sees the base bracket all the way over here. Let me change this. Hey, it has the one at the end. Tall base bracket. And we have a mid-plane X, right? Yeah. So we will go ahead and create mirror. And actually, let me come up here. I'm going to delete these two. Delete that boundary fill. And then, yeah, I'm just going to move him to his own component. Should have done this from the beginning, but again, retrospect is always what you call it. Hindsight is always 20/20. Rather, it's this how you say that. So we can go ahead and mirror these components across the X plane. Okay, and everything should be hunky-dory. Yep, there we go. Now we can go ahead and back up a little bit and throw those screw holes that I was talking about. So let us We have a construction line for this. Top of base. So let's grab that. I'm going to project the bottom side of this component and turn these guys off. These guys are going to turn back on after I'm done, but that's okay. Actually, I guess it didn't. I take it back. It did not. Okay. So we're going to just throw these, whatchamacallits in here, these screw holes in here. I'll line it up on this. Again, because I got a weird shape here, I won't be doing corners. I could technically do these corners, and it should be the same exact spot. But just because of the shape, I'm going to stick to going mid to this and perpendicular. And actually, I can even make sure we're perpendicular to this instead, to be more precise. And then we just, one of those things, I'm going to use the hole tool again, so I'll just throw some dots into here. Create hole. And we need to get our numbers from the other holes, so let me hop over here, find our holes. And we've got, actually, I should have this written down, don't I? What did I do with that paper? Yep, I got them written down. Cool. So let us go ahead and do this. And this is, get this right. Distance all. Where's our countersink? There's our countersink. And simple. And flat. And then we can go in here, and this is 9.128. That's 90, and this is 4.783. And no target body, so let's turn the target body on. Oh, that's right. We're not biting into anything right now. So I guess we'll be fixing that. One of these things, no offset, unfortunately. I wish it had an offset because that'd be the easy fix. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So we will fix this. We're going to create a new construction line. And we'll go 5-6 millimeters up. Up, not down. And then we'll just redo what we just did. Project, bodies, down there. Okay. Look at it. I'm just going to turn these all to construction lines. And then we can go ahead and center line over here. Center line over here. And again, these, I only need the one. Oh, and that did the double line bug. I'm going to call it a bug because it doesn't make any sense. And then our points for the holes. Finish. Make the holes. These guys. Correct the holes. That, all. 9.128 and 4.783. Turn the body on. Oh dear goodness. Okay. I evidently was looking upside down because I didn't have the body on. That is funny. And by funny I mean annoying, but also funny. That guy. All simple, etc. 9.128 and 4.783. Okay. So those are in there, and again, I'm just going to do this the simple way of grabbing the top of that. Attempting to grab the top of that. There we go. Distance all. And reverse that, so we're going out the top. Cool. Alright, now we can pop back out here. This will do everything that we just did and copy it. So there's that. Anything else I want to do in here? I don't think so. So we are going to go up top then. So let's turn this on. And we're going to go ahead and... What do we want to do first? I think I want to copy one of the half pieces, or I guess one of those things. Either copy or recreate. I guess I'll copy. So let's... does the center bracket have one in it? Is a good question. Center bracket does not. The center bracket is just the bracket, it looks like. Okay. Center bracket is just the bracket. So we will come up here, turn that guy on. And actually, first off, we will go ahead and come up here, modify, not delete, modify, align, and get this guy now up to the appropriate height. And that is hilarious that that all did not stick together. Yeah, alright. Because this should be a rigid group. And this slider, okay, the slider only affects the one, so I guess that makes sense. Okay. So, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and rigid group the whole entire thing to make my life easier. Modify align, and let's try this again. And that did not work. Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna delete these. I can't delete these because this is, what you call it? Suppress, capture. Are they still suppressed? Yes. Alright, good. So this rigid group should keep everything together. Yeah, okay, it's not. So we're going to do this one piece at a time then. Actually, redo, since we're doing this one piece at a time. I'm just going to delete this. And now we can go back to doing what we're doing. Oh, this is the one issue with the way I did it. We're going to have to change the orientation of the table, which is not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. No, we don't actually. I take it back. We don't actually. This will just end up being in line. So it's really down to a question of whether or not that bothers me, and I don't think it does, but let me turn the base back on. So there's the base back on. And basically this guy now. So again, we have the option. Let me think. Because right now, these guys, where are they at? Oh, they're there. They're just all the way down here. Okay. These guys are on the ends there. What I'm thinking is about reorganizing this, reorienting it rather, to do this, to go sideways. This is what I'm thinking. That should have been flipped. Oh. I think I just discovered my problem. Let me try this one more time. This is on bodies. Let us try. Yeah, I'll do this. There we go. So now everything is up there and everything's obeying the what you call it? The rigid group. I'm just redoing this to change the angle on it. So this guy, this guy. I'm gonna delete this rigid group now. Finish position. Delete that rigid group. So these brackets, if we're gonna keep this together like this, and if I want to turn this sideways, and let me just do body then. I guess I turn this guy off is what I should be doing. There we go. Yeah, it took the other guy with it, which is annoying, but because I have that suppressed, I wouldn't expect that to happen. I will cry about it though. Let's turn that back on. And that's flipped up. So with this like this, this bracket doesn't really work over here, so to say. Although one of those things we could again put a do I want to though? Huh. These boards are nailed up here or screwed up here. So we can't take the slats off the boards. Which would mean back to down here, I worked around the center base in order to preserve the center base so you didn't have to change anything. Up here though, we might have to remove these brackets because they're not going to fit really. Yeah, it's a shame it's doing all that crap. Okay, I'm gonna do this then. We're just gonna turn that off, and this is why we do boundary fills. Oh boy. Alright, because I can't actually turn that off because it counts as the same object because I copied it. Let this be a lesson to you. So I guess we're gonna have. I don't see any way around taking these off because we don't have much of a choice. Well, our other choice, unfortunately. Let me turn this base on, back on because I've turned it on and off like a billion times here. The other option, components. Tabletop, rotate. Where's the origin? Yeah, okay, my origin is way over there. Point being is you rotate this sideways, and then you throw. Yeah, it would work. It would technically work. Let me. Yeah, it's too much to fix right now. This may be what we do. We might rotate this sideways to go perpendicular to there. Now, if you look at the base, that is perpendicular to the base, so the feet down here will be sticking out at a weird angle, which I don't like. I'd prefer the feet to be in line with the tabletop. But short of unscrewing these mounts right here, that is what we're looking at. So it's a question of how simple we want to keep this conversion. And I think we want to keep it simple. I don't think we want to have to, I mean, we can. It's not that big of a deal. I may just be whining about it, and it's one of those things I'll just have to get over. But let's just see how it works out without it. So I'm going to go ahead create a new component boundary fill. Well, create a new component first. New component. Alternative. What do I call that? Center bracket? Yeah, center bracket. And then in here, I'm going to boundary fill this guy into a new component. We can turn him off now. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, okay. Don't particularly care. We can get this guy aligned now the way we want him. Which is actually less intuitive than I thought it was going to be. Interesting. I guess I do this. And then we find this guy. Do that. This should be components. There we go. That's what I was looking at. And then I can hop up here because now that is definitely centered. And then just go to the top here and make sure we don't need to flip that. We don't. Okay. And now that is in line. So this guy, you can just imagine being the tabletop. Just spin this tabletop sideways and that's what you got. So the brackets will be the same on here. And again, we may decide to change our mind and redo the tabletop altogether. But for right now, this is where we're at. I'm going to change this to 1x4. And then we will simply capture position. Call this top of center posts, or center verticals rather. And we'll just project everything and make some brackets. And one of those things, question how we want to go about that. And the reason I'm saying that is because we got these lofts down here. I didn't do the lofts on the old center bracket. You know, this could have, in theory, been lofted in. I don't think I will do that again. I mean, I think I will keep it straight like before, is what I'm trying to say. So let's just go ahead and draw that out then. And the reason I'm keeping it straight is because you got to add extra meat in order to get the loft in anyway. So it just seems like a waste of material to me. What can I turn off here? Central verticals. Okay. And base. There we go. And now I can come in here because I don't need that guy either. And we'll do this. Let me come up here, change parameters, and grab wall thick. I don't see wall thickness. Alright, we're going to create a new wall thickness because I don't feel like tracking it down. And actually, this is definitely not. Is this only 6 millimeters? What are you? Oh, I did 1/2 inch. Okay. Do we have anything that's actually wall thickness 6? I do not know. That may be why I can't find the wall thickness parameter. Because I did not use that one in this, what you call it. So we're just going to call this 0.5 inch then. And go all the way around. Again, we're basically just replicating what we did before. And I'm not even going to bother with this guy because, again, we can always just mirror it. So this will be going out the bottom. Let me turn the base back on, or not the base, but the central verticals. Turn the central verticals back on. This will be the part sticking down. And based on experience on the other one, we actually want a full 3 inches. Or that's what I'm assuming at this point anyway. Because the other one, again, was too... it slipped out too easily because of the difference in the size on the material versus the nominal size. So we do that. Again, all this is just very easy pattern. Good question. What did I make that on the inside there? Because that actually was a decent center bracket. That was a decent thickness between that and that. Okay, that was 6 millimeters. So let's do that. Whoops, not that. Where's my sketch? Doink, 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 doink. 6 millimeters. And then I turn the body off. Boo, boo, boo. That. I mean, that's a little bit overkill, right? Let's draw some extra lines in. Draw these guys in. These guys will go linear here, collinear here, and then we'll just have our 1/2 inch on either side, just like that. And I will even save myself a little bit of effort and center that. There we go. And now we can come in here, turn the body off so I can grab it. Bodies and 1 inch. Join, and we want to go from the top of the object rather than okay, try that again. Turn off the sketch so I can actually get the top of the object. There we go. 1 inch. Okay. And is there anything I'm missing? Not really, just the screw hole. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure not anything. Let me double check. Actually, that looks way thicker than 1/2 inch. That's... wow. I definitely made that way thicker. 1/8? I wonder how I got the extra 1/8 of an inch. I mean, 1 inch, okay, I understand 1 inch, but 1 1/8, huh? I'm just gonna call it 1 inch instead of 1 1/8. Because I'm a rebel like that. Rebel against myself. Come here. Toss our sketch on there. Project. You guys know the drill. Find the center point. And then make our hole. Finish. Hole tool, and this will already have our hole saved. Distance all. Okay. And there we go. Now all we gotta do is, like the other one, just grind around this off. And what did I use for the other one? Because the other one looked nice. I'm guessing 1/4 inch, but that's just my guess. 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters, pretty close to 1/4 inch. I'm gonna tell myself that just to make myself feel better. Actually, keep those flat. Those ones want to be flat because they're holding the boards. And one of those things, again, could mirror this actually. It could mirror the fillets. Not going to, but it was an option. Instead of going around and clicking all these edges. And did I do the ones on the inside? I don't recall. Let's get it done first, and then I'll come back and fix it if I need to. Again, I'm just mirroring the design here so that it's consistent across both. Let's see what color we want. I don't think we use this one yet. And then we can go ahead and create a mirror. That guy. Not that guy. I guess I'm... This probably should have been a new component. And now we will mirror it. Mirror component, and we find that X-plane in the base, construction X-plane, and there we go. So there's that, and again, this all, I'll rearrange it at some point off stream, just because it's a little bit complicated to get it arranged correctly here. Actually, it shouldn't be that complicated. Yeah, whichever. Anyway, you get the idea though. So let me turn everything back on. Not that one though. And hop back up to the top, and we can take a look at it. I'll turn... Oh, so I can't turn this guy off because the feet go with it. Again, that's why I was boundary filling, and then for whatever reason on this project I did not boundary fill, which is a little bit of fail, but whatever. So right now, if I just compare to this tabletop, you can see that this is going in the opposite direction. So these slats will be going in this direction right now, perpendicular to where they're going right now. Just imagine that while I turn this off, and that is the rest of it. So that is what our standing table looks like for the time being. One of these interesting things where I probably wasted a whole bunch of time building this, I probably can just print out extra copies of this guy and set them up. So if we look at, I'm actually going to pop back over to side table here. Not that. Nothing's really, if you really wanted to, you could leave that guy there and then do two more here and then swap back and forth. It seems a little silly, but it's definitely doable. I mean, again, it's silly looking, but it's doable. Beyond that, this should actually, being as I copied all the dimensions, it should be identical to what we just made, so I might have just wasted some time, like I said. It might have made more sense just to copy that and paste it over. So I think that's what we're... I think that's where we're at. Yeah, so I'm actually feeling a little bit better about this, just because, again, it's a derivative of the previous one, and having this piece just be duplicated is nice. It does have some merit to it. I was looking forward to taking this centerpiece and using it to reinforce the top, but again, the top feels solid enough on what I've built already that it's honestly probably not necessary. So as much as I said, it may just be a matter of I'm just thinking too much, and I should have just left that alone. Or I should have kept it simple, is what I'm trying to say. I meant to say, rather. And just, this is where we're at. So the only thing I really made was these feet here. And you've automatically just have your second, or your standing table now. Yeah, alright. I'm happy with that. It's getting a bit late, so, well... Yeah, I mean, it's been an hour, right? I was hoping to do a shorter stream because I knew it was getting late, but it is what it is. We got done. This stuff will all get printed. I can print these stuff. Well, let's see. I am going to only print one copy to start out with overnight. Again, because this is the same exact thing as here, so I'll print one copy of this just to make sure that the extra 2 inches that I added on the bottom here works. And then while I'm at work tomorrow, I will see what I can get printed, whether or not I can get both of these printed and the second copy of this printed all at once. Otherwise, one of those things, all of it hopefully will be done by tomorrow afternoon so I can take pictures, you know, assemble it really quick and then take pictures. That's the hope. That's all I'm trying to achieve here. And then tomorrow afternoon, I also should be getting my T-nuts in, so I can actually put together the arcade stick. Well, the buttons. I'm going to do the buttons first, obviously, because as I was talking about the other stream when Gail asked, I wanted to play some more rhythm games. I haven't played a rhythm game in a while. I used to play Love Live all the time. I played a Love Note a bit. Both of them are fun. And I just haven't done that in a good while now because I quit and was in the mood to get back into it, but didn't want to play with keyboard. So, in case you didn't hear the whole entire spiel the last time I gave it, that's where we're at. So, expect maybe some rhythm game tomorrow, Thursday. If not, Friday. Friday, we'll look at it and see what happens. One of those things, I actually also have to set up the USB controller for it. We'll see what that takes. So that's the plan going forward. Plan going forward is to get this stuff up on printable in whatever time I have, and then once we have some free time, play some video games. So anyway, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world, and I will catch you next time.